Hello, welcome back to my channel. This is Rochelle of Divine Alchemista. So for today, I thought I'd do a little side-by-side flip through with two of Rose Inserra's decks. We have the Mists of Avalon, came out in 2019, and Avalon Magic, which just came out last year. And of course, both boxes have that really fabulous gilding on them. So this, of course, is a standalone oracle. It comes with a really nice book, little color pictures, a quote, a message, a little bit more in depth about the story, how it relates to Avalonian and Arthurian myth, and then a little affirmation. So I actually really like this deck. But I did get Avalon Magic first because who doesn't love a mini deck, right? You just flip open the box. Of course, it's got that great little magnetic closure on it, so it stays closed for you. Super handy. They fit perfectly into my little reading desk, which I love. And they don't come with a guidebook. They just have cute little messages on the back. And this is probably one of my favorite out of all the mini decks that I have, because the messages that it has are usually not as vague as sometimes you find on some of the other mini decks. Sometimes they're really whimsical, and sometimes they're, not quite as straightforward. So the images in the mini deck are pulled from images in the original Mists of Avalon Oracle. So the first card, the Abbey, does not have a corresponding image in this little mini deck. So of course we see the little rabbit with the Tor card. And the rabbit message: life will support the vision you have for yourself. Make it the best you can be. And this card is all about connection, truth, clarity, connecting with source. So the messages on these mini cards aren't exactly following necessarily identically with the theme that you'll get in here. So they work quite well together. So we have the Isle of Avalon, and here we just see the view, a close-up view, the Chalice Well, which is of course a lovely little symbol, the White Spring. So here we're just close up on the entrance. Some of the cards now have multiple mini cards that go with the image. So as we go through, so the Holy Thorn, the Sacred Grove, Chalice Hill, a lot of them only have one card. Now here's one, the Otherworld, that has actually, I think, the most in the whole deck. It actually has 4 different images pulled out of this drawing. The little bunny, the unicorn, the little spirals, and the little tiny fairy circle, which is kind of hidden by the scroll over here. So, I mean, that's adorable. And the owl. And so when we look at the message for the Otherworld, we have: you are called to enter realms beholding magical and unbelievable beings of light and dark. And the message is: you are being offered the opportunities to stretch, expand, and make significant changes in your life. Be patient. Do not rush the process. To be birthed, one must wait patiently in the womb during the gestation period. So must you wait for the perfect moment when magical intervention arrives to accompany you on your new lease on life. And then it has a little blurb about Avalon containing the gateway to the Otherworld, a little bit more in depth about it, and then the affirmation: I make purposeful choices. So when we look at the cards with that in mind, you know, that we're making purposeful choices. It's a time, you know, for new opportunities. Don't rush the process, you know. And we look at these. Make peace with the wildness within you and all of Mother Earth's creations. It's not exactly related. Reconnect to Mother Nature's world of plenty. You shall receive a myriad of miracles. Honor the magic of the land. Be nature's friend and ally. Assist in recreating Mother Earth's original garden of pure wonder. And then don't be imprisoned by your past. Create a brand new you and hold that vision. While they're all beautiful little messages, they're not exactly connected with what the Oracle card is telling us. On a certain level, they are. It's kind of like, you know, holding the vision, be prepared for the changes, be open to opportunity. Whereas this one is a little bit more about reconnecting to nature. So if, you know, you're thinking, geez, if I get both, how can I use both? Well, they don't, you're not getting the exact same message. Sometimes it's not even quite the same, on the same sort of vibe even. It's taking those images and it's channeling a little bit something different. So this one, Excalibur, truth, sovereignty, power, action, you know, an Excalibur being a sort of truth, being a sort of power, and this being led by your own inner light. Healing and enlightenment are within. So, you know, both valuable messages, not necessarily identical, right? It's not necessarily giving you a repeated message. Sometimes the messages are quite similar, but the decks definitely are not repetitive. And Morgan Le Fay is another one that has 2 images that come out, which is kind of fabulous because, I mean, honestly, look at this little guy. He is so adorable. So a lot of them will just have one image from the card, and some of them have several, which I quite like. That some of the more interesting cards, like the Otherworld card, has a lot going on when you look at the Oracle, and then we actually get 4 individual little cards to look at. I actually really, really like that because, I mean, those little creatures are just so adorable. So then we get into the, you know, some of the different characters in Avalon and archetypes, and then, I mean, beautiful imagery in both of them. If, you know, if you've got the Mists of Avalon and you're debating whether or not to get Avalon Magic, I would definitely be like, yeah, it's totally worth it. These are just, I mean, this is just such a fabulous, fabulous drawing. Love the artwork. So as we go through, a lot of them are just one for one, especially the ones that are characters and more portraiture. We're just looking at a single card to correspond. And then we have King of the Fairy Realms, so, you know, the Great Hunt. And we have 2 images, one of the hill in Glastonbury, or if you're looking at it on the Isle of Avalon, and another one that's our big image of the King of Fairies on his hunt, which is great. And then the White Hart, which is a really, really beautiful card. So I really appreciate having the imagery in there. So, you know, if you're gonna if you're contemplating whether or not to get both, even though the imagery is repetitive, the messages definitely either expand on what you get in the oracle, or what they do. Oh, look. Okay, that's too funny for me. This card has either thrown itself out of the deck or drawn itself every single day since I have received this deck, which was only 3 days ago. So every single time I play with the deck, you know, it's one of the ones that comes up. All right, so here we are. Morgan Le Fay. So let's do a quick little mini reading here. All right. So Morgan Le Fay, fate, intuition, prophecy, and magic. Magic is within us all, in all incarnations on the planet, if one does seek to find it. The message, destiny is not your fate. It can be changed. Let your feelings be your guide and trust your internal compass. There is infinite wisdom within you. You have all the tools you need to create the life you want. Morgan Le Fay casts her feminine power as Fairy Queen, Magical Mistress, Sorceress, Shapeshifter, Priestess, and Lady of Avalon. She is also famous for being King Arthur's half-sister, Merlin's pupil, and a gifted healer. As a powerful feminine figure, she is honored as the ruler of the 9 Morgans, the priestesses of Avalon. Morgan appears to those who seek her when they feel they need strength to stand alone. She has the wisdom of the magic of light and dark forces, and shows you the importance of keeping power in balance through the ability to change. Do not be afraid of failure. See this as an opportunity to begin again. You may be in an emotional place where you are not being the best version of yourself. It is time to reevaluate. Morgan appears when you need to trust your inner guidance system and move only in the direction that feels right for you. If something doesn't resonate with your gut feeling, do not pursue that direction. The card of Morgan Le Fay reassures you that there is magic in change. You can transform and reinvent yourself many times over until you are in tune with your deeper self. Just as Morgan had the power of changing shape and flying through the air on strange wings, so you can change who you are, what you think, or how you live if it suits your soul purpose. You have all the tools you need to create whatever you need or want in your life. Morgan reinvented herself and created her own fate by using her talents and achieving greatness as the Lady of Avalon. When you see the raven fly over mist-enshrouded waters in your mind's eye, know that the Lady Morgan is watching over you, encouraging you to be independent and create your own fate. With the affirmation, I have infinite wisdom. And then this card that has come out for us, you are in alignment with your soul's longings. Make a move now. So, you know, as a reading, we're being told, like, we have everything we need. And if things aren't, you know, the best they can be, we can change them. And, you know, being in alignment with what your soul actually wants you to do, what you feel your real purpose is, you know, and making the move, taking the opportunity to create change within your life. You know, so it's interesting because, you know, this is, I'm sure this is either Galahad or Lancelot in the deck. And, you know, so being in alignment with your soul's longings, make a move. And this telling you, you have everything you do, you know, you have all the tools that you need to shift things and, you know, move into, you know, more alignment with what your soul's purpose is, what your true path should be. So they work together really beautifully. And I am really enjoying it. You know, I like the little bit of background that the cards give you. They give you a little deeper reading. But even if you just take the message, or, you know, the last couple days I've just been pulling a card out, looking at the message, and just taking the affirmation away with me. These cards I use all the time with my tarot, and I find they really add a nice little layer to a reading. And if you watched any of my other videos, you'll see that I do love to pop in those mini decks, and this is definitely one of my favorites. So I can definitely recommend that if you're contemplating wanting to get, you know, whether or not you should get the one deck or the other, if you already have one, they're not like super repetitive, even though the mini deck has the same artwork. The messages are either quite different messages, as in the case with the Otherworld cards, or they just add another layer. And it's not very often where you'll get two the same that pop out at the same time. But I find there's definitely a synchronicity in how the two decks work together. And I think that Rose has really created something really fun and really useful. So I hope you enjoyed this little flip through and little mini reading. And if you feel called to, it would be fabulous if you would subscribe to the channel. And if you enjoyed it, please give that little thumbs up a click. I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care.